Hey YouTube, this is Prince from Desi Programmer. Welcome back to another Flutter tutorial. And this video, we are going to create a full-fledged calculator app. An app with the UI as well as the logical part coded in a single video. So without any further ado and talking much, I'll just create a new Flutter project because we already know how to deal with these things. And I will name this as calculator, hit enter, and this is my directory where I'm going to create this project. Now this may take a minute, so let's just give it the time that it wants. Well, so our app has been created and we have this main.dart file open for us. The first thing that I will do is to erase the entire code that we have got, and now we will write the code from scratch. First, we need to import a package, and that package will be a material.dart package. So package slash flutter. Okay, it's not package slash package colon flutter slash material.dart, and then we need our void main function, which will call another function that's run app, and this will accept an app. So I'm passing an instance of an app. I'm calling this my app. Now my app will be a stateless widget, so my app extends a stateless widgets and it returns a material app where we have our own following properties like a title. So I'll say title, that will be just a string which will be calculator. Then we have theme, which will be theme data, where I just want to set the primary swatch to red, and then the home is this home page, which we don't have as of now, but that's completely okay. Now I need to create this home page, which will be a stateful widget. Come on, stf, and that is a home page. Now my home page returns a container, but I'm not good with that. I want my home page to return a scaffold, and this scaffold will have an app bar, and this app bar just has a title as of now, which will be a text widget, and it says calculator. Well, we have a body for our scaffold, and the body will be a container. The container will have a children and a child, which will be column, and the column will have children, which will be a list of widget. I'll be providing all the needed alignments later on. So now I have this complete app where we have a complete container which has column, so I can provide all my widgets one by one, and they will be placed one on each other, not on top of each other, one after each other in a column. Now before running the app, I think we are good to go. Like, we can run the app and see if we have anything in this as of now, but this widget may give us an error. Still, let's see what we have got. So our app is up and running, and as you can see, we just has an app bar with a text that's calculator. Now in this list of widget, we will have rows of button, and each row will contain 4 buttons. But the problem right now is that how do we give this button equal spacing and they should fill the screen. So here I have a row, let's say, and this row will have children, which will again be a list of widgets. Now let me show you what this widget expanded does. Well, the widget expanded says that it will take the entire space that's provided to it. So I'm saying in this expanded, I have a child, which is a material button, and this material button has a child, which is just some text, and this text just says 1. I should save this, and here you see we have this 1, and it's not working as of now because we don't have an onPress property. And now if I save this, you can see that if I click on this, this button takes the entire row provided to it. Well, the magic happens here. If I just copy this expanded and if I paste it again, you will see that now I have 2 buttons taking half space provided to them. And if I do this once again, you will see that I have 3 buttons and they take equal spacing. Well, that's cool. But there's another problem. I want my buttons to be at the end, and then the entire space that's available to them should be as a text widget. So what I mean is that we have 4 buttons, then 4 more, then 4 more, and 4 more, and then we should have this entire area for the text widget. And since device sizes may differ, I want my buttons to have some fixed size, but my text area can expand itself according to the device size, which is a problem because if I don't fix this, then how I'm going to fix all the content that's coming after this part? Well, that could be done easily, and what we have to do is that here in my column I have to say that the main axis alignment for us is at the end. So what happens is that these buttons are now at the end, and every widget that we give will just come one after each other. So the first widget will be our text, we will keep it as expanded, and the rest of the widget will have their own fixed height and weight so that they can just look as we want. So before moving forward, now again, as you guys might be expecting, I will just be copying this expanded and rows multiple times to come up with what I want. But hey, I'm not going to do that. Not right here at least. Why? I'm just going to cut this expanded and I'm going to erase this all the widget that I have. And since in every new project, I always try to make sure that I teach something new. So here is this something new thing that I might be introducing, and that's a widget. We can have our own custom widget which can extend another widget. So let's say that I'm saying that this is my custom button, and this widget returns a widget which is my expanded widget. Fine. Now it should be a semicolon because this is a return statement, and now I can just use this custom button and it will give me what I desire. So here if I say custom button, and if I just copy this line 3 times, let me just save this, and hey, I have 4 buttons. Ain't this what I wanted? So now I can just give styling to this custom button, and it will be reflected in all the buttons. So I have a style which is a text style, and this text style here I'm not saying much, I'm just saying that we have some font size and I'm setting that to 25.0. Now when I was creating this app, I just find out that material button, press, raised button, flat button can be used, but an outline button is something that just meets my requirement. So I gave an outline button, and I'm giving my outline button a padding which will be edgeinsects.all, and the value will be 25.0. If I save this, we can see that this looks a bit decent right now. Now all that I need is 4 more rows, and then I will show you how am I going to keep all my numbers and symbols in them. So I'll just copy this, paste it, paste it, paste it. Let me save it, and now I have this, I think 16 buttons. So I'm going to have 987654321 C is equal to plus minus multiply divide. Yeah, not many operations, just the basic mathematical operations, because to be honest this video is more about the UI than the logical part. Now here is another problem, because this custom widget I'm showing a text of 1, so how do I change it every time for another widgets? Well, that could be done very easily. This custom widget is almost like a function, so it accepts a parameter, and here I'm giving this a parameter and I'm naming this as button value, and this is a string. And other than showing this constant value of 1, I'm going to show this value of button value which should be displayed right here. Now again I have to pass them. So if I say 9, 8, 7 and plus, you can see that what am I getting. Okay, so I have errors. Let's say that I am passing a same value, let's say 1. Let me just copy it and paste it everywhere. Now I'll save this, and you see that I get what I wanted, 9, 8, 7 and plus. So I will just change these values accordingly, and you can just feel free to keep this layout in a way you want. I'm going to keep this in 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 and so on. So just feel free to use it in a way you want. Now I think I have everything that I wanted, but just pay attention to a few points. Here I'm not passing an asterisk, I'm passing a small x, I'm passing a capital C. So make sure of these points. Now I have these buttons working well. Now I just need this front part, and how do I deal with that? Well, I'm just saying that in this container where I have a list of widget, my first widget will be an expanded widget. We will take the entire space provided to it, and it will have a child, and this child cannot be a text widget directly, because a text widget cannot be a child of an expanded widget. we have to do something that can expand itself, which doesn't has a fixed size and all, such as a container, and that container will have its own child, which will be a text widget. And right now I have just this string which says output. If I save this, most possibly we are going to get this output at the center. But I don't want this output to be right here. As we all know, most of the calculators show this text at this area. Now we can do that very easily. I just have a property alignment where I'm saying alignment dot bottom right. Let's save it, and we have what we want. But this text size is small as of now, so I'm giving this as styling, which will be a text style where the font size will be again 25.0. If I save this, not settings, come on, if I just save this, then we have this output. But I again want it to have some font weight, which will be font weight dot w600, so that it looks little bit decent. And now I have this, but wait, it actually merges with the screen. We can see this T actually merging with the screen, and to solve that I can give this container a padding, and I'm saying edge insects.all a value of 10.0. Now if I save this, it's looking decent. Well, let me tell you one thing, this is working for me, but sometimes it may throw an error, and in that scenario you may have to use a divider right here. But since it's working right now, I think I should be moving forward, and let's see. And okay, so we have this output, like we have this UI, which is pretty good. Now all that we need to do is to make this calculator functioning. Now to be honest, the logic of a calculator is actually very easy, and we can make it as complex as we want, but I'm not going to do that. First of all, you may have this problem which says that hey, I have this on pressed which will call any single function. So how can I call a single function with any button that's pressed? Well, actually we are going to use arrow function. So I have an anonymous function that calls another function, let's say button clicked, and it passes the button value as a parameter. So this function will accept a parameter button value and will work accordingly. So here, okay, I think I should be keeping this widget out of my build context. So let me just cut this, and here I have them, and I need my function too. So void, okay, void button btnclicket button clicked, which again takes a string. I will name this as button text, and then we have to do accordingly with the button text that's provided. But before doing that, I need some parameters or some variables to work with them. And what are they? First of all, I need an integer. I'm naming this as first number. Then I need another integer. I'm naming this as second number. Then I need a few strings. The first string will be a string which is text to display, and it actually this is the text that we are going to display on our screen. Then we have a string which will just input, which will just store all the intermediary result, and then I have a string which talks about the operation to perform. I know the variable names might be a bit larger, but trust me, I always make sure that I name my variables accordingly so that anybody can understand that what this variable operation to perform mean. Anyway, moving forward, now I have this button text, and now I have this function which will be called every time any button is clicked. So let's deal with the buttons one by one. The first button that I would like to deal with is this C. So I'm saying if the button text is equal to capital C, what we have to do? So we have to just reset all the values. And how do we do that? I will first set the text to display to be an empty string. I will set the first num to 0. I'll set the second num to 0, and I will set the result to be an empty string. Next, what if we have another situation where the button text can be any operation like plus or minus or so on? So how to do that? If button text is equal to plus, or button text is equal to minus, multiplication, divide, and so on. So if I write that, Now remember, you don't have to check for an asterisk sign because we are providing any small x. So these are the things that you have to remember while writing this. Now, what if it is any one among these? Well, again, it will be very easy. If we have any such situation, then I'm expecting the user would have entered any number. I will set the first num to be an integer from the string that we have, which is being displayed right now, which will be in text to display. And then I will set the result to an empty string, and the operation to perform will be the button text right now. Well, we have another situations too, where what if the user just presses the is equal to. So if the button text is equal to is equal to is equal to, this may sound weird, but yeah, what if the user presses is equal to? Well, in that case, I am going to get my second number, which will again be an integer from text to display, and then I'm going to perform the operation according to the operation to perform value. So if operation to perform is equal to plus, I'm just going to have a result which will be the sum of two numbers, that is first num plus second num, and then this would be converted to a string because my res is a string. Now I have to perform the same operation three more times, which will be multiplication and subtraction and division. Now remember, the sign that we are passing is a small x, whereas the operation that we have to perform will be denoted by an asterisk. Again, the sign that we are providing, that we are passing, is a slash, whereas the operation that I want to perform is a tilde slash, which forces an integer division. Well, after this, we will have my output in the rest, but I still have another conditions, like what if the user presses any else button, that's any numeric button. Well, in that case, I'm saying just pass the value to res, where I have to pass the text to display, which could be anything from earlier, and then the button text that's provided to us, and then convert them to a string. Now what this means is that what if somebody have already pressed 1 and then he presses 2? So in that case, get thing that is already right there, and then add that to that value, which is a string, and then parse it as an integer, and then convert that to one string so that we get some considerable output. And after this all, after doing this everything, we have to call this set state property that will display our output. So text to display will be res, because everywhere you see that we are changing the res. Now doing that, I have to again change this output to dollar text to display. Now I have saved this file, and if I refresh this application, and let's see if it's working or not. I'm pressing 87 plus 3, should it be 90? Yeah, it is. I'm saying minus 4, it is 86. I'm saying into 2, it's 172. I'm saying divided by 2, it's again 86. So our calculator app is working fine, and to be honest, we have just limited our code a lot in this video. Like, you might be doing this, you might be skipping this part, or you might not know how you can build custom widgets, and also how you can call a single function which will just deal with all the buttons and so on. So might be that you might be writing a lot of code, but this is a very simple way. Actually, it's not a simple way, it's more optimized way. Simple way would be using multiple buttons, calling multiple functions and so on. But anyway, I won't talk much. I think we have done a good job in this video. We have created a calculator which has a good UI, as well as it has a cool logical part where you can perform our operations. The C button is also working good. I can say 20 into 5 is equal to 100. I can press C. So everything is working good. And now I'll catch you up in the next video, where we'll be creating something else in Flutter, something more exciting and something more useful. Till then, keep coding, keep loving, keep sharing. Peace.